Hey, this is Mark watching MTC Media with your Maryland Purdue preview. It hasn't been the loudest winning streak, but after a slow start, Maryland has caught a little bit of fire. They've won 5 in a row. That includes an overtime win over Penn State, along with a road win at UCLA. Now Purdue comes to town. Now both teams are 1-1 in conference. For the Terps, uh, head coach Kevin Willard did say that Jameer Young will probably be available for tonight's game. He has sat out the last game with an illness. So, Maryland's uh, biggest, and I do need that literally and figuratively, hurdle tonight will be Zach Edey. The Purdue big man is averaging 23.2 points a game, along with 10.2 rebounds. But Will did say keep an eye on Purdue's backcourt, which has gotten much, much better. They're a year older with Braden Smith and with Lawyer. So definitely they're going to be a factor tonight with how they shoot the ball and how they handle the ball. For the Terps, they have to, put some of their early struggles behind them, especially some of the young guys. They are starting to really, really do that. I would say that Deshaun Harris Smith has definitely picked up things. The shooting's getting a little bit better. He didn't come to Maryland as a shooter. He came there as a defender, as a dog. But his shooting is starting to improve. If you've listened to any of Willard's midweek press conferences, he always talks about the 8:30 shooting ritual they have that has both Harris Smith and Jamie Kaiser Jr. In those, as both of them look to kind of catch ground, get used to the college game. So if you're looking at the keys for tonight for Maryland, Willard spoke about the backcourt for Purdue and how impactful they've been. Again, this starts with Harris Smith. Came to Maryland with this reputation being an incredible defender, especially on-ball defender. That's going to have to be on display tonight. You want to put pressure on the Purdue guards. Make them pass the ball where you want them to pass the ball. You have to dictate to them. That offense can be so dynamic. They do such a great job, especially when they're hitting shots, with being able to get the ball inside the Edey, because now you have to come out on the shooters. Well, you can take away some of those passing angles. You can take away some of that era being comfortable by ball pressure. So Harris Smith definitely is at the top of my keys tonight, but at the top from a defensive perspective. Number two, in the last 3 games, Dante Scott has averaged a little bit over 14 points a game. That's the Dante Scott that needs to show up tonight. Earlier in the season, at times Scott looked lost and disinterested, to be frank with you, in the offense. I don't know if it was because the younger guys were trying to find their footing, and maybe it was hard for Scott to get into a rhythm, but he's starting to get into a rhythm now. He's going to have to be in one tonight. Maybe this is where, when Willard was talking about in his press conference yesterday, he talked about players are being more comfortable in their roles. And maybe Scott was one of those players that needed to be more comfortable in his role and has finally gotten there, because over the last few games, he has looked much better than what he did at the beginning of the year. And last but not least, Edey's going to go get his. Like Willard said yesterday, a guy like that, he's going to go get his. But Julian Reese has to stay out of foul trouble. And on the duck-ins and the dives with Edey, meet him high. Meaning, whether it's ball screen, whether it's an action where Edey ducks into the lane, meet him high and either reroute him or make him stop and catch the ball in a spot that he did not want to catch the ball. And then all of a sudden, Edey becomes a decision maker as opposed to just being reactionary. And those are the little things. Do your work early. If you play basketball, if you coach basketball, you've heard those things. Do your work early. For Juju tonight, do your work early on defense. Yes, Edey's going to score. Edey's going to get his. But your job is to stay out of foul trouble and make it as difficult as possible. Make him work. Maryland, Purdue tonight, 7 p.m. on Peacock. It's Mark's watching with MTC Media.